Kimberley. Sorry, but there's some people that are still connecting to audio. Maybe wait a few minutes.
Okay. I can do that.
Guys, they won't hear your beautiful introduction.
That's right. Okay, guys, just forget what I said. We're going to go back, all right? Hey, how are we looking? We still got a few kicking?
Okay, so we're just going to move over.
Looks like we're good.
Beautiful. All right.
The only thing is the sound's going to come out the computer.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to start again. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for jumping on to our Central Connection Asian-themed cooking workshop tonight. My name's Kimberley Hamilton. I'm a Thermomix team leader based here in Minlton in South Australia. I would like to introduce you to the rest of the team that's going to be cooking and presenting tonight. From over in Port Lincoln, we've got Rahel Gerber. She's the team leader over there on the Eyre Peninsula. We've got Anika
Go, Kimberley, go, Swaffer, yeah.
Swaffer, right. And she's one of our brand new members to the leadership team, and she's over in Cummins, I believe,
yeah, on the
as well, so we've got a good representation there. We've got Anna, who's all the way up in Darwin, and from all reports, it's a little bit warm up there compared to here in South Australia. And we've got our awesome BDM, Jess Fabian, who will be cooking as well as running the background. So I'd like to, thank everyone for jumping on. Tonight we're going to be doing the Asian theme workshop. Just to give you a little bit of inspiration and maybe try some new things. We should all be sort of over Zoom at the moment, but if you need to, probably best to pop yourself on Zoom, on mute if you're not, and that just stops any sort of background noise. Look, feel free to come off mute if you want to ask a question at any stage. I think we're all friends here. We can all ask questions if we need to. The other thing is the chat box, so you can always be popping things into the chat box. So maybe we can practice that by popping in where we are all calling in from. You know, what part of Australia are you calling in from? And we're also going to be having a look. We're also going to have a poll. We're getting very technical. We're going to be popping a poll up to find out and ask what model Thermomix you currently have. So whether it's TM31, a TM5, or a TM6, or maybe you're just looking at the Thermomix and haven't got one yet. We'll get Rahel to pop the poll up, and you'll be able to fill that in. Beautiful, that's just popped up, excellent. And so from there, we are going to begin our cooking. I think we should take probably roughly about an hour. And like I said, any questions, pop them into the chat, or if you're feeling brave, come off mute and we can have a chat. We've got plenty of knowledge between us all here tonight. All right, so who's up first? I haven't got my run sheet in front of me.
Just 1 second, sorry. The poll was in the way. So we're actually going to start with Anna up in Darwin. Thank you so much, Kimberley, for our intro. Shall we just see the results of the poll before we fly over to Anna?
Yep, sounds good.
Can I show it, or if I end poll, can then everyone see it?
I reckon that's what we'll do. We're still practicing and learning, everyone.
Oh, yeah,
and
share results. Here we go.
That's
It's up on screen.
The wonderful thing about being consultant is we're constantly learning new things, and this is a new thing for, I think, many of us. Looks like, do you want to read out the results, Rahel?
Yeah, so it looks like we've got one having a TM31, one with a TM31, or two with a TM31 and a TM6. So, and then most people on here have a TM6, and then there's one with a TM5.
Awesome. Well, it's really good to know who we're chatting to. So it looks like most of us, so 83% have a TM6. So let's roll with that then. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting us know. Awesome. Thanks, Rahel. And let's fly over. Let's fly over to Darwin and say hello to Anna.
Hello, everyone. I'll just. Hi, how you going? I just want to check firstly. I know I normally shout, so can you hear me just as I'm speaking at the moment?
Perfect.
Yeah, coming through loud and clear down in SA. So I've been actually very lucky. I'm actually put in the chat. Has anyone had the bubble tea before? The bubble tea. So traditionally it's called the Zenzu Nei Cha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If we have any Asian people on here, let me know. Zenzu Nei Cha. So it's called bubble tea. And it's something new for me. So I did a test run last night. And whilst Jess was here up in Darwin, we were very lucky and we went to the Asian store. So you can actually buy the tipayaka pearls in the Asian store. So if you've got one near you, that's where you buy them. Now, I've prepped, I've done everything, and I'm going to go through what it is that you do to make this tea. And then I've got all the ingredients and I'm just going to whack them together. So this is classed as an easy recipe. Prep is 15. Total time is an hour, and it's for 4 people. So when I made it, I actually made it I halved the portion, and it actually says that in the hints and tips. So if you're not reading your hints and tips in your recipes, please do so. Now, before I start this, can those that are on here today already, can you please put in the chat whether you are purchasing a cup of tea? Well, you wouldn't be buying tea, but mainly coffee. Who buys a cup of coffee on their way to work? Yes, no. I'm curious to see, and if you can keep an eye on that chat, Jess, because I'm curious if there are people purchasing a cup of coffee on their way to work, and how much you're paying for that, actually. And who actually buys 2 coffees a day? Very curious to find that out, and I'll explain why later. So basically, the ingredients are, you put boiling water. You can put boiling water in here, but for those that don't have the TM6 and you can't see my modes, but I've just slided the screen, we actually have a kettle function. So that's one of the differences we have between the 31, the 5, and the 6. So we have all these amazing modes at the moment. So there's a kettle function, so you can use that to boil your water. So for people that go camping or caravanning, they don't have to have a kettle. If they've got electricity, and even off the road, 4-wheel driving, if you've got the inverter, you can still use your thermi on that, for those that didn't know that. Going back to the recipe, so boiling water, you put that in, and then, so you put the simmering basket. So anything over 95 degrees, we're putting the simmering basket on top instead of the measuring cup as a safety feature. So that water cooks for 10 minutes at 100 degrees. Then 140 of these tapioca, how do you pronounce it? Tapioca pearls. So I only put 70 grams in. So like I said, I halved the recipe. So it says to cook so there was no instructions on here, but in the tips, it says it normally cooks for 10 minutes. But when I Googled it, there were varying times, like 20 minutes or half an hour. So I actually did it for 20 minutes. Then that is cooking the pearls. So you drain them. So I used the simmering basket to drain them. And I don't know if you can see. So these are the pearls. They're cooked. They said the ones that you cook, you can put them in water in the fridge for about a day. So obviously it's something you use as you need it. So it doesn't have a long shelf life from what I can gather. So I blitzed my dark brown sugar. So you put 100 grams of sugar. Again, I halved the recipe, so I only put 50 grams. and 100 grams of water, but this says 200 grams. So without the measuring cup, that cooks for 15 minutes. So I did all these last night at like about 1 o'clock this morning, actually. Then you transfer that, and then with 300 grams of that boiling water, you put tea bags. I just had bushel tea bags. So I just used that and brewed it in a pot of tea. Who's doing the screen? I can see Rahel.
You're all good, Anna. We can see you.
Oh, yeah? Okay, good. I'm hopeless on my stupid tablet. So once the pearls have been cooked, the sugar syrup has been cooked, you have to let everything to cool down, okay? So basically I'm just going to put it together for you guys. So it says to put the pearls in the cup. So I've got a nice big mug here. So I put the pearls in. Now I ended up finding, I couldn't find a little jar or something. So I ended up putting a sanitized spice thing. So it's got the, so I want to do a bit of a design around the glass. Can you see that? Sort of a bit of a design. So that's the actual sugar syrup. And okay, add ice. So I forgot to grab the ice. So I'm going to put the ice in first. Now, Jess, you know how I like taking photos. I can't take photos of the process I'm doing.
Oh, the pain.
All right, Anna, it's recorded.
Now, so I'm getting a bit, in my old age, I can't handle proper milk these days. So it says to use whatever milk you use. So I'm actually starting to buy some lactose-free milk. For those that don't make their almond milk in here, this is so easy to make your own almond milk. So I'm just going to put some of the milk in there. Can you see? Oh, actually, I'll do it close to you so you can see. This is a pretty big mug. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. You can see the 21st thing. This was my son's 21st mug. So, yeah, it just says add ice, milk, stir, combine, and serve in a large. Oh, yes. Where is it?
That's looking pretty authentic so far. Wonderful.
So this is a straw. This is a glass straw that I actually got in Bali. So up here in the territory, it's pretty close to go to Bali. A lot of people are starting to go there now. But I might just give it a little stir. I didn't put the tea in. I'm thinking, why does it look so white? I forgot to put the brewed tea in, so I'll do that now. That was supposed to be with the thing on the bottom, but does that look okay?
That's looking.
Oh, I better put the straw in. Where is it? There. So can someone take a screenshot? I can't do it.
Interesting, Anna, that those tapioca pearls.
Pardon?
Interesting, those tapioca pearls, they're a lot bigger than I thought. Like for me, the only experience I've had with tapioca is like the sago, which is,
yeah, well, they say,
and I thought, yeah, but they're much bigger.
Yeah, no, well, they are quite big. Yeah. So there you go. Now going back to my question with the who buys coffee on their way to work, did we get anyone respond to that?
We certainly did. There's a lot of people that are saying they're buying something. Sometimes they're making it at work. or buying some things on there while they're out and about. I know that I've bought bubble tea for my girls on more than one occasion for over $10.50 a serve, like a serve that size, and I'm horrified. So thank you so much for showing us and also showing us the flavors that you've popped in, which we could adapt. Yeah,
so the reason why I said how much are you paying to make it, so for those that don't have, like, appears that most of us have a TM6 on here. So if you have family or friends that still don't have one, and just ask them the question, are you buying your coffee on your way to work? So as well as this, really, I already had one this morning. It's really delicious. And Kimberley actually asked, can you put coffee instead of tea? So yes, if you can make it a nice coffee instead of a nice tea. But with our 24-month interest-free, it's only $3 something a day, which is a lot less than a cup of coffee. So when you put that in, that perspective, when people say I can't afford to buy a Thermomix, but if you break down the figures, $3 something a day is like quite affordable. So that's why I was wanting to do that little thing. But yeah, thank you. I think I've gone over time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for experimenting with the bubble tea and showing us how easy it is to make in our Thermomix. Yum.
That's buono. Nice in Italian.
Awesome. Great. We can travel to different destinations around the world and enjoy different cuisines right from our home. Thank you, Anna. We will let you enjoy that. We're going to jump over all the way from Darwin down to Port Lincoln on the Eyre Peninsula with our German team leader. I'm not German, Swiss German, is that right?
Yes.
Italiano up in Darwin, down to the opposite end of Australia. Off over to you, Rahel.
Right, so I'm just going to make something that I make quite often, or like making. I'm combining two recipes, and this is something that's so versatile, and there's probably a million ways you can do this, and I'm by no means an Asian. So yeah, I'm just following recipes, and that's the good thing with the Thermomix. We can just cook any cuisine, and even if we don't know anything about it or we can't pronounce the words, we still cook that authentic cuisine. Now, so far the favorite dumpling recipe I found on Cookadoo is still my cabbage and pork dumplings. And I love it because, especially now in these times, it's so good to save money. Everyone wants to save money. Food has gone up in price. So this recipe, look at this cabbage. That's the cabbage that goes into my dumplings. So it's that much cabbage and then about that much meat. So the meat, that's actually more meat than we need for the recipe. So yeah, over half of this filling will be vegetables, and very cheap vegetable. And it tastes amazing still. Now, instead of just steaming my dumplings, I like to steam soup at the same time. So I always make a wonton soup while I'm steaming my dumplings. Can you put in the chat box who is using their Varoma? So this is one way you can use your Varoma. And I know a lot of Thermomix owners don't use their Varoma to its full potential. So I've saved this recipe into my week so you can meal plan. I'm going to just start the dumplings. Then I'm going to show you one way out of a million ways you can wrap up your dumplings. And yeah, and even if you are a very beginner at wrapping your wontons, the main thing is that you get the air out and that they stick together so that the filling doesn't come out. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you're in a recipe on your screen, and like in this recipe, I'm not going to make the wonton wrappers myself. I bought them. So I don't know, you can't see my screen, can you?
It's a bit glary.
Bit blurry, so I won't even bother about that. I'll just tell you, so when you're making a recipe and you don't want to make the whole recipe, in this case, the first part of the recipe is making wonton wrappers. So I'm going to skip that. So you can go into the recipe and just go to the step that you want to start at. I'm going to skip all the wonton wrappers making and just go straight to the filling. That's step 3 in this recipe. So it says to add 400 grams of cabbage leaves. That fills the whole bowl. It's a lot of cabbage. So imagine how cheap this is. I don't know, does anyone buy wontons? Have you bought any wontons before? How much do you pay? 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to mix this and use the spatula to chop it. So speed for 20 seconds.
I've personally bought them like just at markets, and it was, you got, I think, like 4 little ones on a plate for about $12. Yeah. Since making them in my Thermomix, it really pains me to be able to pay that, but I just went, for the moment of convenience, I'll do it. And every time since I've made dumplings in my Thermomix, I just remind myself how much money I'm actually saving by making them myself.
I didn't hear you, sorry, because I had the machine going, but
That's okay. As long as everybody else heard Rahel, it's okay.
they're very expensive, aren't they, to buy? This is my cabbage. That will now go into the simmering basket. There will be a little bit of water coming out, so we're going to squeeze out the excess water in the cabbage, so it's not, the filling won't be too wet then. I'm just going to put this aside for now. Now we're going to add the pork mince. So my cabbage, I'll just put that to the side. Add 350 grams of pork mince. I'm going to use this whole packet up because it's defrosted already, so it's a bit more.
And if you happen to find like whole cuts of pork that are on special, buy that and mix it yourself in your Thermomix. That's again going to save you more money as well.
Right, 30 grams of water to that. $20 grams of soy sauce. This is such a simple recipe. You could obviously just add whatever you want to it. Some more flavor, less, whatever you want. 10 grams of rice wine.
Sneak some extra vegetables in there for those fussy eaters.
Yep, half a teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to leave the sugar out. Half teaspoon of salt. And then a bit of black pepper. And last but not least, some sesame oil. 15 grams of sesame oil. And then we're gonna mix this up again.
And whilst it seems like it's somewhat like time consuming, us just sitting there watching someone else cook, from my experience of making it, you know, like you can actually, you know, pump out a batch of, you know, like pork dumpling, like the mixture quite quickly, to the point that sometimes in my house now I'll have some go, no, I want chicken dumplings. And, you know, I can't say no to it because I know how quick it is to pump them out. So I'm like, okay, no worries, 1 batch of pork done, and then we'll just go and do a chicken one. Keeps everybody happy.
So this is going for a minute. So if you want to.
Awesome. We will let that happen, and I might get mine cracking while we've got that 1 minute, and we'll jump back to you as well. That. All righty. So while Rahel's working on her dumpling filling, we're going to jump over. I'm actually going to fly over to Japan with my Thermomix. I'm using sparkling black tonight, which is one options at the moment. You guys probably heard about it. It's such a beautiful appliance. So if you or someone you know are keen about the sparkling black, it is still available. So we've still got some. So let your friends know if they are after one, or if you're after one, make sure you contact your consultant because there's just a few left. We're not sure how many. Now, what I'm doing is a Japanese curry. I'm doing the chicken katsu curry with rice, the Australian version. And the great thing about this one is it's gaining popularity here in Australia, and you might have actually seen the stock cubes, the golden curry cubes. They're selling them in the supermarkets these days. And the great thing is you can make pretty authentic flavour in your Thermomix. So this recipe is in cookie dough. So I've popped it in today, and it's just an authentic flavour. I've lived in Japan for 2 years. So when I saw this recipe, I was super excited because the flavours are pretty spot on. I'm loving it. Now I've just popped some oil in, and unfortunately I haven't got fresh garlic. I've popped garlic powder just because I couldn't find any Australian garlic at the moment. So I've made that choice, and you can make your choice with your recipe ingredients. I don't need to chop that up because it's powder, so we'll just skip past that. And instead, a Japanese curry. Now, it's not spicy at all. It's more of a sweet curry, and it has lots of onion, carrot, and you can put potato. Just mute somebody. I've found them. All right. All right. So onions, I've sliced those up. They're going to become beautiful and sweet in our curry. So they're going to go in as is. That was just one onion. I've got some carrot. Now I was running short on time, so I didn't peel it. But that's okay. And I've got some of my broccoli stalk cut up because I steamed some broccoli with my rice, and I thought, why not use it? So I've popped in some vegetables. You can deviate from the recipe if you wish. It's bringing up the 1 gram increment scales, and so you can know exactly what you've got in there, but I've gone completely over, which is fine as well. Now we've got the oil in there and the vegetables. It's actually going to cook for 10 minutes. So Thermy's going to look after that. I can go and do whatever I want to. Just going to turn it on, 10 minutes, 120 degrees. It's on reverse, so those veggies will be looked after. And I'm going to slide that back on my glider board so I can keep watching this class. Are going to go back to Rahel, see what she's up to with her dumplings. And just a side note, that glider board is free right now as a gift with purchase, along with a matching oval thermoserver. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But let's jump back to Rahel and look at her dumplings, if she's ready for us.
Yes, I am. So here, I just haven't added the cabbage yet. I just wanted to show you. That's how it needs to look like. So it was mixing for over like a minute and a half. So that way it's really, it's like a paste now, the meat. So that will then stick together well and give that nice feeling. Now we're going to add the cabbage, and I've also, if you can see, already laid out my wonton wrappers. I'm just going to add that back here. I've squeezed out a bit of water of the cabbage, and I'm going to add that back in. There's also a really nice dumpling recipe from Matt Sinclair, who used to be on MasterChef. We've got a collection on Cookie Dough where we're actually using the high heat mode first to steam some mushroom and onion. So that one is a good one too. Now, just mixing that for 6 seconds, and I'm going to use my spatula if I can find it here.
The only spatula you ever put through the lid of your Thermomix is the Thermomix spatula with the neck on it.
Now, I'm going to show you a few things. Some of our favorite accessories. So you can see the mat here. Who's got one of them? I love mine. That is available as a host reward. So for having a cooking session, a learning session with your consultant and inviting 2 people to that, you can get one of those, and the smaller one that goes on your trays instead of baking paper. And I've also got a few thermo servers here. So that's one of them. Insulated bowl, holds your food hot or cold for up to 3 hours. These are only available as a host reward. And here's another one. Black goes with my black Thermomix in the background. So the black one is still available. At the moment, you get to choose between the black and the white Thermomix. Now, my filling should be ready. That's a lot. So that will make quite a few dumplings. I hear that in China, this is a family affair, so everyone helps, which I totally get because it's a lot of work. So if everyone makes their own, that was the rule in our household. So you make a few, so yourself, then mum has less to do. Yeah, and then it's like a family activity as well. So I'm just showing you one of, as I said, one of the probably hundreds of ways that you could wrap up your wontons. So what's important is that I wet the sides. Normally I would use a little water spray. You can buy them in Coles or Woolies in the travel section. They're like little bottles, spray bottles. So, but mine, I've put oil in mine now, so I need to buy another one. So just spray it with that. It's probably the quickest because I don't have that. I'm just using my, how do you call this?
Pastry brush.
Pastry brush, sorry. My first language is not English, so I still sometimes struggle finding words. So then I tend to put too much on. I think I need to take a bit off. Don't put too much on it, like that. And then the one way that I've seen Matt Sinclair do it is in a triangle. So you make sure that all the edges are glued together with the water and get all the air out. So go from the middle outwards. There. And then I hold it upside down, cross it over like that. And then it's like a little, they call it, that's the fish. So I'll make another one with this one. You can't really see the shape properly. So as I said, I'm not an Asian. I haven't done this a million times, but I've done it a few times now. And you get better as you practice. Again, just.
I know, I think that depends who you are, Rahel. I've done it 1,000 times. Mine don't ever come out that pretty. It's delicious, they're just not pretty.
And then fold over the ends, and that should be like a little tail there. Let me, I need a bit. So when you cross these over, you put a bit of water on that as well. There's lots of like YouTube videos out there that can help you. And if you want to be just quick, and because they taste the same whether they look good or not, just fold it up any way you want. The important thing is that you squeeze out the air and put some water on the edges so it sticks together. But then in saying that, sometimes when I didn't have enough wrappers, because it makes a little bit more than for one packet, I would also just make meatballs with the filling, and that works well too. Great. So I've read too, you can, when you have too many, don't steam them all. You can actually put these on a baking tray until they're frozen, and then you can put them in a bag or in a container, and then you bring them out and you just cook them a little bit longer. I think it's then 25 minutes in the Roma. And when they're fresh like this, they're only cooking for about 7 to 10 minutes in the varoma. So you probably heard my Thermomix in the background, my other one. So there I had the wonton soup already, the broth. That is now, I used the kettle mode, so that's now hot on 100 degrees. So all I can do is now bring over that other bowl and then put the dumplings into my varoma. So in the bottom and on the tray, and then I'll cook that above my broth, above my soup. All right, I'll show you when it's all done, when I've done a few more dumplings.
Thank you. And I reckon some people might have a question. Do you think it's best to oil the varoma tray?
Yes, yeah, definitely. That helps so it doesn't stick, because there's nothing worse than when you're trying to get them out and then they stick to the bottom of your varoma. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. You're going to have some lovely dumplings to eat, and we look forward to seeing what they look like once you've made them all and steamed them. Thanks, Rahel. Thanks for showing us so well on the screen what they look like. Over to you, Kimberley. Mine's still cooking.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So I am going to be doing an Asian chicken Asian noodle salad. Now you can see, I'm not sure if you can spotlight my other screen as well, Jess, so we can see the screen. So I've got this recipe saved into my week. There we go. So I'll go up into my menu, my week, and this is the Asian chicken noodle salad from Cookie Dough. You'll find the recipe there. Start cooking, and we're going to get into it. So the first part is just making the dressing for our salad. So obviously salads, we're getting into that warmer weather now. Slowly, we're getting into the warmer weather. So this one needs 1 spring onion, just chopped up. So I've got my spring onion there. I'm going to pop him in. Next, it says 4 centimetres of ginger peeled. I've actually got crushed ginger because that's what I had. So sometimes I will use fresh ginger if I've got it, but if I don't, I always have a jar of crushed ginger as well. So it says 4 centimetres of fresh ginger. I've put in about, I don't know, 2 good teaspoons of ginger with that. 1 garlic clove we have there. 1 to 2 fresh red chilies, trimmed and de-seeded if preferred. So I'm a little bit of a wuss. I've got half a red chili de-seeded. You're lucky I'm putting any chili in, but you know, it's I'm doing it for the people. Okay, 4 pieces of lime zest. So I've got my zest here. I actually just used my peeler to peel that off the lime. Oh, and it says with the juice as well. Just let me go back and check that. And juice. Okay. So I have actually got, I'll pop it in this one here. This is a juicer that's just come out on the mix shop. So I'm going to pop my lime. So I've got my lime cut in half, sit it in there. I've actually put a little bit of a split in the top. You can see that has to help with the juice, sort of to squeeze it out. And I'm going to juice that in like that. I'm loving this. I always made a mess with my, you know, just by doing it by hand. So I'm just going to squeeze the rest of that out. So you can do your lemons or your limes. It's like got a big sort of bowl on it, so it does both. So you can find them in the mix shop. Okay, so we've got our lime and juice in there. Right, pop the lid on. So it's got 5 seconds, turn to speed 7. This is just going to blend it all up. Okay, so it says here lime zest, no pith and juice. So I think there's just a little bit of a glitch in that recipe because we have already put that in. but that's okay. I'll just quickly show you. I'm just going to scrape this off my lid here. Just quickly show you. And we've chopped that up there. I'm just going to scrape down the sides. Like so. Okay, so it wants 50 grams of soy sauce. Close enough. We've got a teaspoon. It says a teaspoon of palm sugar, optional. I couldn't get palm sugar. I'm just going to put a little teaspoon of dark brown sugar in instead. 20 grams of rice wine vinegar. You see how accurate the scales are with their one gram increments. There we go. Okay, 40 grams of hoisin sauce. This is quite a thick sauce. Oh, and we've got a bit of bonus sauce in there as well. She'll be right is my motto. 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. There we go. I love sesame oil. I love the smell of it. Works beautifully in these Asian recipes. And 20 grams of peanut oil. So obviously if you have allergies to peanuts or those sorts of things, then you could use a different oil in there, I think, maybe a light olive oil or something. A little bit of salt, sorry, forgot the salt. It says half to 1 teaspoon of salt, so you can just do that to taste. I've just got some sea salt flakes there. And insert the lid with the measuring cup. So pop that on there. Okay, so 20 seconds on speed 6. So it's just going to blend it up for another 20 seconds now. You'll probably cut out by sound.
Awesome. That's sounding like an amazing dressing. And Tracy Di Bartolo has commented that Cookie Doo has a great hoisin sauce recipe, so you can make your own. I would love to give that a go, Tracy. I don't think I have yet. Isn't it awesome we can make our own condiments?
Okay, so this is our dressing. I'm just going to scrape off the excess off the lid. Smells beautiful. Okay, so here is the finished sauce there. This is going to be our dressing. So I'm just going to pour this into a bowl so it's ready to use. I can smell that soy sauce and hoisin in there. We're just going to sit that aside in our bowl like that. Now, I'm not even going to clean the bowl out for this next step. I'm just going to pop that back in here, pop our sauce aside, and it says to cover and pop in the fridge until you're ready to use. So you can pre-make this and have this ready to go like in the evening. If you get it done in the morning, you can have it ready for the evening. Okay, so it says do not clean the mixing bowl. We need 500 grams of water. So I've actually just had my other Thermomix in the background using the kettle mode like Anna was talking about before. So I'm just going to add some already warmed up water here. About 500 grams, just a little bit over. This is going to be our steaming water. Then we'll go next. We're going to use the Varoma. So like Rahel said before, there's a lot of people that probably don't use their Varomas as much as they'd like to. So having a go with different recipes like we're doing tonight is a great way to give it a crack. So I'm just bringing my Varoma here. I'm going to pop it up on top, and it wants to add the tray on the top. So I've got the dish and the tray. The tray is the second layer here. Next, it wants 500 grams of chicken tenderloin. So I'm a wuss and I don't like touching raw meat. So I'm putting on my gloves. Don't judge. All right, so 500 grams. We're just going to lay this, and I didn't have tenderloin, so I just bought chicken breast, and I've cut it into sort of tenderloin sizes. So I'm just going to lay those in here. This one you could, you know, depending on how many you're making it for, you could reduce the serves, or you can increase depending on how many you're serving for. There's 300 grams. Righto. So we've got our chicken. It says to season with salt and pepper. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Like so. Pop on the lid. So he goes over. And it's set for 10 minutes on Varoma. And it wants to go to speed 1. So I'm going to turn that on. This is going to steam our chicken pieces, ready to go and be tossed through our salad. While that's going, and just before I jump over to Jess, I've actually got the next part of the recipe to do while this is happening. So because it's a noodle salad, I've got some vermicelli rice noodles here. So I'm going to use that hot water that I use the kettle mode with. I'm going to pour that over my noodles there in my black oval thermo server, like Rahel was showing before, which is available at the moment with the sparkling black as a bundle. And I'm just going to pour this over, and I'm going to let that sit for a couple of minutes and cook those noodles. And once they are soft and cooked and ready to go, I'm then going to drain them and set them aside, ready to be tossed together with my salad. So I will hand back over to Jess, and we'll go back there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberley. That looks like a delicious salad recipe and so easy. I bet it's going to be just amazing. Thank you very much for that close up so we could see the screen for anyone who hasn't got a TM6. So we're going back into my kitchen. So remember, we're in Japan. It doesn't really look like Japan, sorry, but in Japan we're making the Japanese curry, the katsu curry. We had the onion and the carrot in there, and it's cooked really nicely for 10 minutes. You can see that my carrots aren't that small, and that's because they've cooked 10 minutes, and they're also going to cook in the curry mixture a bit more. So if you like a bit chunky carrots or even some potatoes in smaller chunks, you could pop them into your curry in that first step as well. The next step is continuing to make more of the curry flavour. So let's do that. My Thermomix is telling me to pop some curry powder in. I'm going to whack that in. And remember, you can make some curry powder yourself, which is what I've done. And I've got in a little yogurt jar from the mix shop as well, curry powder. Now, I don't make all of my own spice mixes, and I certainly could make more, but I'd love to hear if any of you guys have a favourite spice mix that you are making. So we've got our curry powder in, and then we're going to pop some flour. So, of course, you could use gluten-free flour if you needed to. You can make this a gluten-free recipe. Just one sec. Oh, a 1 minute cook. All righty, we will do that. And so we're just basically coating our onion and our carrot with the flour and the curry flavour. So that's going to go for about a minute, and then we're going to put some other things in like soy sauce. The recipe calls for Japanese soy sauce. To be honest, you could use any. You don't have to go off and buy special Japanese. This one is Colman, which is, I think, made in Japan anyway. But yeah, any soy sauce will be fine that you can have. This one's tamari. We're going to pop in some honey and veggie stock. The recipe calls for chicken stock, and yes, that would be more delicious, I'm sure, but I more often have veggie stock on hand. So that's what I'm using, and I always use it in my curry. I'm going to put a bay leaf in as well. So that's literally pretty much it for the flavour, plus some spice that I didn't make. Let's see, No, I haven't got that one out. I thought I already put it in. The spice I didn't make is garam masala. So I used to make that back in the TM31 days. I'm sure I've made that, but recently just bought it. Have you made garam masala? Love to hear. So that's just coated it. It's looking pretty ugly now, actually, but that's what this curry needs. It needs that flour. It needs that little cook there. And then we're going to pop some water in. You could put broth in. So if you've made, you know, chicken bone broth, you could use that at this point, get some more nutrients in. I've just popped in water today. And now the next step is 2 teaspoons of chicken salt. So I'll just pop in roughly 2 teaspoons in there. And now my family's telling me, well, this recipe well with a bit of sweetness. So it's calling for honey. I'm going to whack that in. And as I said, Japanese curries are sweet. They're not spicy. Not much spice in Japan, which is different to most of the other Asian countries that, you know, super spice. So Japanese curries are always your milder ones. So we're safe there in Kimberley's household without the...
Oh, my kind of curry. My kind of curry.
Yeah. Now a bit of the garam masala. So whack that in now. And literally that bay leaf, literally that's it. So my goodness, no need to buy the stock cubes. And somebody pointed out that the stock cubes have MSG in them and some other colours, I think it is, so other additives. So that's a reason that you don't, you know, you want to make your own, because how simple was that? And to be honest, when I'm cooking for more people, I double the onion and double the carrot and double the liquid as well, and you'll make a bigger curry. This one is actually enough because we're going to use it with the katsu, so the chicken katsu, the schnitzels, and rice. So and there's only 2 in my household at the moment, so I am happy with the smaller amount, but you could always pop more in if you're wanting to create a larger amount, and just add about a couple of minutes to your cook time. So you don't need to double your cook time, you just add a couple of minutes. Now, so Anna's made garam masala. Excellent. Sue's made it. Hello, Sue. I saw you'd registered. Nice to have a call. Sue's made it as well. And Anna has made it. And Anika's made taco seasoning. We should do Mexican next time. Love you to put in the chat box cuisine or what country you want us to travel to.
Go around the world.
Go around the world. I'm going to jump back to Kimberley or Rahel. Are you ready, Kimberley, or not quite yet?
The chicken's not quite ready, but what I could do is talk about the next part of the recipe. So because we're doing a salad, basically we've made the dressing first, we're going to steam the chicken next. I've already prepared the vegetables ready to go. Now, following the recipe, you can cut things up with a knife. What I actually used today was my cutter. Do we have anyone that has a cutter in the chat box? Pop your name if you have got a cutter. I see a couple of hands waving there. Excellent. So at the moment we can't currently buy a cutter because they were so popular. We're waiting on stock to come back in to Australia, and we only have one way to get a cutter on our bench at the moment, and that is to become a consultant. So you can join a team, come and do cooking classes and demos, and earn yourself a free cutter after your 3rd sale in your 60 days. So it's one of our fabulous incentives, and there are so many, especially in your first 8 months of being a consultant. You get extra on top of what we already get now. So the cutter is basically it turns your Thermomix into a food processor with the use of this one blade. So one blade, it does 4 functions. You can grate or slice thick or thin. So just depending on which way you have the cutter, the slate side is for slicing and the grey side is for grating. So depending on what you want to do, you pop that in, it sits inside the jug, And then you've got a mode on your TM6, either thick or thin for grating and slicing, or it can be used with the TM5 as well. So this is the cutter and this is the result. So I might use this camera if it's still there. So these are my results. So I've got a bit of a rainbow happening in here. Instead of chopping my carrot up and chopping it into pieces in the Thermomix, I actually did the thick grate. So you can see how that's nice and there. It's a decent size, great for stir fries and salads and those sorts of things. I also sliced my capsicum. So this is a thick sliced capsicum. I just cut it into like the edges of the capsicum. I popped it in, fed it through, and it sliced it in about 2 seconds flat. I did cut my snow peas by hand, but if you wanted to grate things like cucumber or anything like that to be putting into your salads, you can be using your cutter for those as well. So earning a Thermomix is earning a cutter is the best way to get one at the moment on your bench. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you said earning your Thermomix. It's actually true. You could even be earning your Thermomix at the same time, couldn't you, Kimberley? Do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. So earning a Thermomix is one way that people can get a Thermomix on their bench for a small deposit. And at the moment, we've got a half price deposit for only $420, and also a half price business kit. So you can have a business going in no time, get a Thermomix on your bench, earn yourself a cutter, and do it that way. Just have a chat with your consultant and come along to a biz and learn about all the things and the benefits of being a consultant that you can get. I'm just going to turn this chicken over. It's nearly cooked. And it's going to cook for just a couple more minutes. Pop that back in again.
What if people already have their Thermomix? They could earn a second one if they were interested in the black, sparkling black, but how much would it be for them to start their business, Kimberley?
So if you were to come on and you've already got your TM6, we know a lot of you have already got your TM6, so all you would need to do is buy a business kit. They are currently half price at $75 with over just about $400 worth of value in the actual kit itself. So, that's a great reason for doing it in itself, but you learn a lot more about your Thermomix. You're going to use your Varoma more. You're going to build a community, join a community and make some great friends and networks as well. So, it's a great opportunity. And if you love your Thermomix, I call it my hobby because I just love doing. I don't class it as a job because I love what I'm doing. It's basically a full-time hobby now. So so many opportunities, and we're always looking for new people to come and join us anywhere in Australia. So
awesome.
What I might do, I'm just going to quickly finish off mine. Is that all right? So that chicken, once the chicken's done, I'm just going to break it up into smaller pieces. I've got some wombok or some Chinese cabbage shredded up here in my separate bowl. I'm going to add in my grated carrot, my sliced capsicum and the snow peas. We're going to pop those in here. And basically we're just going to make a bit of a tossed up salad. It's also got fresh mint leaves, coriander leaves and some spring onions just sliced up. They're just sliced up, ready to go in. So all of this is ready to go. You could pre-make this either the day before. And I've also got my noodles in here. I'm going to let them cool just a little bit longer, and I'm going to toss that through as well. So you can make this all up, have the chicken in there, serve it up, pop your dressing on, and I think this would last a couple of days in the fridge if you keep the dressing separate. And sprinkle with peanuts and a few sesame seeds, and you've got a beautiful salad. So I will do that while the others continue.
Awesome. Thank you, Kimberley. That looks amazing. And I hope you have some leftovers for your lunch and things tomorrow. Yum. I just love the freshness of Asian salads. Now, our class was advertised to go to 8:45, so we are actually running on time. We're all good, ladies. So what we'll do is we're going to jump over to see you, Anika, if you're ready to do your main girl, your dessert.
I am ready, and I have somewhat like fast-tracked this a little bit, just knowing that we have a lot of already Thermomixes and TM6 crew on tonight as well. So I'm just going to like run off the back of what Kimberley said about becoming a consultant, because I felt like she was just literally telling my story. You know, like you learn so much as a consultant, and obviously you get all these incentives, etc., etc. But for me, I came to the consultant journey less than 2 years ago, and I don't want to blow my own horn, that's how it's going to sound, but, you know, I thought I knew a lot about Thermomix and I knew how to Thermomix, but it turns out that when I became a consultant, I learned so much more, and I am constantly learning. And, you know, that is just incredible. We really do just have such an amazing time being a consultant. And this recipe that I've got tonight is our sweets as such of our Asian banquet. And it is something that I have never made before. And that is something that I find myself doing as a consultant, is literally exploring more and more. And I don't think I've used my Thermomix ever so much, because I know we just get this inspiration amongst us as consultants within our teams, and yeah, just pushing ourselves a little bit further and obviously growing as a result. So what we are making here in, might jump over actually to this camera. Sorry, got my back here. I've got my sparkling black here as well. So what I've got, and interesting, we've been talking a bit about the Rome. I did notice in the chat earlier that there was some people that use it flat out, and that is brilliant. And there's others that were probably a little bit more like me, and we barely used it. Again, becoming a consultant, I have used it way more now. But what I'm doing here is steaming, which I've never ever done. I'm steaming rice, okay? So what I'm actually making is effectively, like, who knows, like the old school rice pudding, right? That is what I'm making. If I can tilt it this way. Sorry, my other camera's got my back, so don't look at that one. But I'm steaming rice in this little boat that I've kind of made. I don't know what the Asian name is for boat, but it's Australian.
Sorry, I was too slow. I was too slow. Could you please go back and show us what it looks like?
I'm trying not to burn myself, but sure, maybe I'll lift it up this way. Without steaming. Oh, I steamed everything. Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh wow. You're using black rice?
Yeah. So black rice. So again, thanks to Rahel, this is what we do in Thermomix land. We literally support each other. So this recipe calls for glutinous rice, and that's not something that particularly in rural country towns that you can find very easily. Rahel actually sourced this at an Asian grocer in Adelaide. And what I have done, and I will show you all later, maybe Jess, you might even be able to send it out. I'll try and put it in some sort of social media link, is I've tested. So I pre-tested this earlier using, because I Googled some substitutes for glutinous rice. So I've tried sushi rice and I've tried arborio. And then obviously right now I'm cooking the actual glutinous rice. So what I will do, I will show you guys the actual results later after our actual class tonight, to be able to, you know, see what is actually an okay substitute, or just don't even bother at all. So because for me, I'm like, I'm not always going to be able to get that glutinous rice, and I wanted to be able to see if I could substitute. So stay tuned for those results. I've already had my kids test one of the desserts, the pre-made desserts, and they're clearly not very Asian cultured, probably more so leaning to like our traditional English creamed rice porridge pudding. Got a few funny little faces, but I've tried it and I actually love it. Like, so the ingredients of this, so obviously we steam our rice as we are doing here, and at the end of the recipe it calls for us to make a syrup, and I've already pre-made that as well. And this, so obviously this is like the cream syrup that goes over the top. I'm not sure if you can see that. I've just got this little insulator jug. You can find them on the mix shop, but I made that earlier without tipping it all over my computer. But this is literally just coconut milk. I actually used cream and made it even creamier, and some coconut sugar. The recipe calls for just regular sugar, but I had coconut, and obviously that gives that enhanced flavor, and just a little pinch of salt. So simple, so clean, and the flavors over the rice, and like, so the rice has no flavors through the cooking, it's just plain rice with this over the top. and then simply some chopped up mango to go on top, sprinkle of sesame and some mint. And now if anybody follows me on my social media, I had to actually go past this big black snake that was at my mint patch today to pick it. So I call it like the very lucky dessert that got to be garnished. But here we go. So again, I have no Asian crockery. I'm 100% Australian. I do like to explore with my taste buds, but I don't have anything else very Asian. If we can hold this up a bit closer. I don't know if that's clear enough. Maybe on this camera back over here. So it's like a constructed Asian rice pudding. So we have the rice at the bottom and we pour our syrup over the top. And then we pop some fresh mango on there. And maybe, Anna, I should have got you to get me some mangoes because they're only just coming into season and they're probably not the cheapest down here in South Australia at the moment.
Yeah,
But I was quite lucky the flavour was good on this one.
I was thinking caramelized banana on top would be awesome. I was actually at a Thai restaurant last night and I saw sticky rice with caramelized banana and red adzuki beans. And I was like, oh, we're making something like that tomorrow night. So caramelized banana could be lovely.
And yeah, again, like Anna said earlier too, hints and tips. So if you use your cookadoo, and if you don't and you have it, do use it because it is incredible. I was a big skeptic. I came from a TM31 to a TM6, and yeah, I thought I knew how to Thermomix. Anyway, proved myself wrong and I ate my words. But anyway, it's a better life now. Use your cookadoo and write down the bottom of your recipes is where you'll find those hints and tips. Now, this is a little tip that's not specific in this actual sticky mango rice recipe, but the little boat that I made that I'm steaming my rice in, because traditionally with Thermomix, I would actually use my steaming basket, but this obviously we're using the aroma. And this is just baking paper. And my little tip with this is, and for those that have never seen it, is to actually wet your baking paper because obviously it makes it more pliable and you can mold it into a shape better. So that was a piece that I used earlier and I've just wet it. And then I'm not very good at arts and crafts at all, but literally I just twisted the ends like this, and then obviously it has a little opening in there, already coming apart, but then I just poured my rice into that, and then that's sitting in my varoma, steaming my black rice at the moment. It is simple as that. And then obviously because we're using that, the rice is not actually coming into contact with my varoma. It's not going to fall through those little holes. It's not going to stick in them either. So just a cheap little piece of baking paper with a bit of water scrunched up. That is my magic tip for making this work. And yeah, so like I said, I will keep you guys posted after our class because I'm mindful of time, but I'll let you know as to what is actually the best result with rice, whether we can get away with just using like risotto, arborio rice, or even sushi rice, or if, you know, glutinous rice actually does give the best end result. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your taste testing and your flavor testing of all the different rices, Anika. That'll be super helpful. And we might get Anika and the other team leaders to pop our Thermi chat groups and different links into the chat box if anyone would like to click and follow Anika's outcome there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Have you ever made that before, Anika, before this chat about class? Never.
And that was the thing too. That's what I love about being a consultant. Like, you know, we work together as a team and we go, hey, we're going to put this on for everyone. And I'm like, hey, I've never made that recipe. Let's, you know, have a crack. Again, on Cookadoo, you've got your star ratings up the top. And I guess I'm just a bit lazy and I'll just look at that and go, oh yeah, if that's got a good star rating, I'm sure I'll be able to do that. So, you know, and it's going to taste okay at the end. You know, don't want to go to all of that effort of making something that doesn't taste great. So I look at that star rating. And yeah, and I personally quite like the flavors in this one. So at the end of the session too, I will go through and I will rate that little recipe. So yeah, that's what those stars mean if you see them on Cookadoo.
Awesome. And you can just hold your finger on the stars if you're on your phone app and rate them. So our lovely what do we call her? Our CEO, the lady who brought the Thermomix over to Australia, she's on a mission so that all Australians rate all the recipes that we love and we're using. So feel free to put your rating in Cookie Do as well. And ask your consultant if you're not sure how to do it. They'd love to come and show you and do cooking and learning session with you. You can always have a personalised learning session and grab all the host rewards that Rahel was showing us and learn more, because there's always more we can learn. We can do that in person or over Zoom. We are back in Japan again. My curry was cooking away while Anika was doing some dessert. I'll show you what it's looking like. So it's looking like a beautiful Japanese curry, exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's going to taste exactly what it's supposed to taste like, and you're going to save a bunch of money as well. I did buy some when I was at Henley Beach over the weekend just to taste test theirs, and it was $15 for one serving. So I've made probably 4 servings, I would say, and I should do the cost analysis for you. But that's the curry. I'm going to pop that in a moment into my thermo server to keep it nice and warm for my family to eat. And then the recipe guides you to get your panko breadcrumbs and then to do your schnitzels, your katsu. But I make this an easier version for myself, and I actually buy chicken schnitzel. So if you want to do the panko breadcrumbs, please go ahead. I usually make, I just get the schnitzels and I popped in the oven in a casserole dish with some oil underneath. I sprayed the top and I baked that for, I don't know, 25 minutes or something before the class. I've just sliced it up with my awesome Thermomix mix shop knife, my favorite. I've just sliced them. So you might have seen that in sushi and in this katsu dish, they slice their schnitzels up like that. So I've skipped past all that part. The rest of the recipe, so you can skip past and go to parts of the recipe that you want to go to. So make sure you ask your consultant if you're not sure how to do that. But basically, I'll then skip to the steamed rice. So for me, I did my steamed rice before the class in my second thermi to speed things up. So we can do 2 things at once. Did my steamed rice there, but you could definitely do it in your thermi after your curry. And that's why you're going to want to pop your curry in your thermo server. Now, I'll show you what the steamed rice looks like, and we'll put it in another thermo server. So it's always handy to have more than one thermo server so that you can keep your food warm. So I'd love to hear if anyone hasn't done rice in their Thermomix. I love doing rice in my Thermomix. Over the years, I've done it in every model and it works a treat. So if you have any, if you need a bit of advice for cooking rice, contact your consultant as well to get the best tips there. I always cook it on Varoma temperature, speed 4, for about 20 minutes, but it's done after about 17 minutes usually. And I actually popped some broccoli on top and I steamed it above the rice. It's in the Varoma. And if you wanted to learn more about the Varoma, we have some beautiful Asian dishes in our regular standard demos. So you could learn some more there. So this recipe is cooked at 100 degrees. I popped it up to Varoma temp so that I could ensure my broccoli is cooked above the rice. So I'm going to take that out with the spatula, and I usually just pop it as is in my TM6 thermo server. So that's big enough to house your rice and keep it nice and warm. So then we can serve all that up together, and I'll show you that plated up. I'll plate that up, a bit of rice and then the curry and then the chicken schnitzel on top. So I'll do that now, and we will have a look at Rahel's and Kimberley's. Who is busting to go next? Rahel? Should we see what Rahel's up to?
Yep. So I'm done, all done. So I don't know if you know, but the lid of your Varoma goes upside down, is a dripping tray. And these are done. Now to serve it up, all you do is put some bok choy in your bowl, and then put some of your broth on top. And then you can add your dumplings into there. And I can't wait to eat this. Who wishes they were here with me right now?
Me.
Yes.
Me.
There, and then you just add a little bit of chili for Kimberley.
No.
And
I'll see you in an hour, Rahel. That looks amazing.
and spring onion on top, and then that's all done.
Yum.
So good, Rahel. Yummy.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Yum. Imagine how
And one more thing, I'm not sure if everyone knows where to find wonton wrappers in the shop. It's a bit weird. It took me a while. So it's actually in where you find your tortellinis and fresh pasta in the fridge section usually.
awesome. Thank you for that great tip. Now, you're going to enjoy that, and I can see Kimberley has her beautiful salad ready for us.
Here we go.
Yum.
It smells really good. I've just mixed. What I'm going to do is I've actually left the salad. I'm going to leave that dry. I'm not going to put the rest of the dressing because no one's eating salad here at 9 o'clock. They should be in bed. So I'm going to keep that so it'll be fresh for tomorrow and maybe even Saturday. But I've added some chicken to the top. I've put some crushed nuts on there, a little bit of sesame, and I've drizzled the dressing over the top, and it smells amazing. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a try. But yeah, it makes a truckload. Like, this is one of the, I don't know if you've seen on the mix shop, the nest of bowls, and it's a 4.5 litre bowl, and that's how much salad's in there. You add the noodles and the chicken as well. See, this makes a truckload. So if you want to feed a heap of hungry people, I think this would be a good one for that one as well to do. But yes, no, it looks awesome. Full disclosure, never made this before in my life. I winged it. Because, and like Anika said, it had like pretty good star rating. I'm like, this will be all right. So, and it doesn't matter if you haven't cooked anything, just give it a try. Pick a new recipe every week and get in and use your Thermomix. Make it an Asian theme this month or into next month. We're nearly finished this month.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, I think most of us never made the recipe we cooked tonight. I think because I never made the bubble tea before. So, Jess, had you made yours before?
I've made mine a stack just because I love tea. But
One out of how many?
things, and it's so fun because you can learn new things as you go. Thank you so much, Kimberley. I was just thinking while we're waiting to see the mango dessert plated up, have a little look. I just wanted to screen share just for a moment. This is our menu that we've done today. We popped it into Cookie Dough, and I think I've got everyone's correct recipes. But Rahel did do a slightly different one at the beginning. So we will email you guys with some links of everything we've cooked and talked about tonight. So you'll get an email for us, and we'll pop some other links of our Thermi chat groups and things like that, so you can stay connected to our whole branch, the Central Connection branch. I wanted to also just share, because a couple of, let's see if I can make this bigger. We'll roll with how big it is. But a couple of our presenters tonight mentioned about the business kit, and it's half price. So for $75, you're going to pick up yourself a thermoserver, which is super handy, thermomats. Look at that, the bamboo bowls. I forgot that was in the kit. Stationery is free all the time. You'll get a carry bag, an apron, flip chart. You get everything you need to get started. Not only that, you get support from your team leader, which is one of our lovely presenters tonight, as well as myself, which is I'm the branch manager. So we want to support you to create your own business, and we want to have fun with you. So this is the startup kit. A lot of you guys have got your business tool. So if you are keen, let us know. Let's have a little look. Where's that picture? So, and if you wanted to have a crack at earning a second Thermomix, whether that's a white one, if you've or a black one, sparkling black if you've already got the white one. You can earn the sparkling black if you wish. And did you know that after just 3 sales, your Thermomix is half price? So you can give it a go if you want for $75 to be a consultant. And you can even do an earn program as well. We've got half price earn program. Normally you have to put a deposit down, which is $8.40. Right now the deposit's only $4.20, as Kimberley mentioned. So you could give it a go if you want. Join with your existing TM6 or join and earn a second one, because what's better than one Thermomix is 2, right? And as we've mentioned tonight, there are some gift with purchase offers worth over $300. So if you know someone who wants to also have fun making Asian food and save money and, you know, make lots of other food as well, there's our classic white option and our sparkling black option with the matching gifts there. We've only got one person with a TM5 who answered our poll, but if you would like to see a bit of the differences, please contact your consultant, or I know some of you guys who have registered don't have a consultant, so one of us presenting could connect with you if you wish as well. So I'll email everybody after the class, and if you are looking for a new consultant who can keep you updated with our next events and things like that, we'd love to help you. What's this one? Trade Up. So Trade Up started this morning, a bit earlier than we expected. We thought it was starting on the 10th of October, but luckily it's been brought forward, and that's another way you could get yourself a second bowl. So if you've had your TM5, so anyone watching our recording, you might have had your TM5 for, I don't know, 10 years or so. You might be a bit curious now that you've seen the TM6 tonight. You might want to upgrade with this offer. So it means that you don't have to bother about selling your TM5 or servicing it or anything like that. You could trade it in if you wish. And if you did, you'd save $300 off the RRP and you'd get yourself a second bowl. You can choose your black one or your classic white. If you decide you want to keep your TM5 and give it to a family member or use it as your rice cooker, you can keep it and you don't have to do this trade up. You can just do the general offer. So for $2,579, that's the cost of the TM6. Now, I think we might have seen all our pictures. There's a picture of the white one. So we've got the classic white and the sparkling black beauty. I think that was all of the little pictures I was going to show you. If you want to learn more about cookie dough, please, again, we do have cookie dough info sessions once a month, but also probably a good idea to reach out to your consultant, because I'd love to help you learn more at a personalized learning session. All right, I'm going to hand over to Anika if she's ready, and then we'll have Anna to say our farewells and also tell us about some upcoming events and opportunities.
Okay, so I can tell this is like I'm serving it in a wine glass. It's about all I use my wine glasses for, is to serve food. I'm not a wino. It's very hard to be able to tell online, but what I have noticed from cooking the 3 different rices is that the more glutinous ones, obviously this and the arborio rice, actually fluff up more. So this recipe only calls for 150 grams of rice. And with the sushi rice, I looked and I went, geez, that's like not much at all, like by the time it had cooked. And the recipe says it serves 4. And I was like, oh, that would be a bit of a stretch. So obviously with your glutinous rice, and this is something that I've learned literally tonight, so just sharing with you. And so I was like, okay, so if you have the glutinous rice, it fluffs up more. Obviously, it's, you know, clearly going to serve more. It's going to be more filling. And yeah, that's my learning. So that is the black rice. And I think too, like the recipe calls for white rice, but black in contrast against that beautiful yellow mango, amazing. I'm no photographer, but again, I'll see if I can get some photos to show you.
That will look amazing. And just of what I know of black rice, I might add, I wonder if it needs more, like a longer cook time or a longer soaking in hot boiling water. Could you try some? Just, you know, this is real life mixing. You are the real life mixer.
Yes, I am real life mixing. Again, the hints and tips did say to pre-soak your
cool.
rice. Ideally for minimum of 2 hours, more so overnight would be better. So that's what I was, so this I actually only did for 2 hours. I did the other two for, I think they were more like closer to 4 hours. But the black rice was only for 2 hours, but I will test, because bless Rahel gave me some extra rice. So I will test an overnight soak as well to see if that gives us a fuller grain at the end.
Beautiful. And often the black rice, no, sorry, not often. The glutinous ones will soak up more water, and the brown ones, sometimes people even put boiling water on, don't they, to make it speed up a little bit.
Yeah. I know brown rice does take a while.
Yeah. Let's I just wanted to show you the plated up version, because I just realized I didn't show you that. As you can see, it's rice, the curry, and then however many of the katsu you want to pop on top. So that's the chicken katsu curry, and I'm going to eat that for my dinner.
I didn't know that katsu meant like schnitzel.
Yeah, katsu is like cutlet. It's like it's sort of like cutlet, and they say katsu. I think that's how it was, but the katsu is literally this part. Yeah.
There you go. Never knew that. I've heard of this recipe and I've made it before. I never knew that. Thanks for teaching, Jess.
Yep, no problems. Now we've seen everyone's dishes. I think we will hand over to Anna to thank everyone and say goodbye.
Yep, happy to do that. So before we say goodbye, for those that are left still here with us, can you put in the chat, you know, what your takeaways may have been this evening, if you've learned some things, and what was the best bit, or what you learned, because it's nice feedback for us as well. And yeah, if there's a particular theme that you want us to cover, yeah, you can put that in the chat as well. But Jess, do you have handy our SANT link?
I literally popped that in. You have ESP. I just put it in the chat.
Thank you, because I can't access my computer at the moment. So because this is our Central Connection branch, and all our virtuals, all our face-to-face, we've got open houses coming up. I'm trying to think of to do one here in Darwin, but there's I think 3 already booked and planned for South Australia, and it's really to help people. It's just like an information day. Do you guys do a bit of cooking in the open houses, or just more display?
Definitely. We're going to be doing honeycomb, I think Swedish meatballs. That is going to be a layered cooking dish to showcase our energy savings, and we'll also be seeing some high heat cooking as well. But there'll also be all the latest, you know, things to look at, and cookie do, and lots of other things to learn.
So on that SANT link, that everything that we're doing as a branch will be on there. And anything that is being held locally here in Darwin, I always put it in our NT Thermomix's page, and I know a lot of you Darwin ladies are on there already. But yeah, so I can't see the chat because I'm talking or looking at you at the moment. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. And if you do know anyone that owns a TM5, Jane, you still have one. And Jane, actually, who's on here, Jane Hull, if you're still on here, she used to be a consultant here in Darwin, so you may want to jump and join the team again, Jane. But yeah, so there's opportunity to earn, but the business kit and the deposit is half price at the moment. If you're even thinking about it, or someone wants to side hustle, now is a good time to do it. But whenever these sessions are held, if you go away with something that you've learned, or leaving with, I didn't know that, so our job is done. And we really, enjoy sharing our knowledge and, our hints and tips with you. So hopefully you're leaving with some knowledge. And yes, thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know if anyone else wanted to add anything else.
Is it. We are done. What fun. That was the very first class that I have participated in with you guys. It was a dream to work with you. So well done to the team leaders. I absolutely love that, and I'm so happy that we had lots of people, lovely people joining us. Sorry, I've just spotlighted you, Rahel. Sorry, we'll wave goodbye as I spotlight each person. But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. We had fun. We're going to be back. Probably we're going to do it every second month for team leaders, unless we get inspired to do it every month. We will see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. So it's lovely to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye. Well done, ladies. That was fun. Fun.
I like this dish. I really like it. My kids are just ungrateful.